Hey everybody, I want to know how you got saved. And then did you go to church right away? And what were kind of your takeaways from church? Did you enjoy going? What were you getting out of going? Because there's a lot of conversation about church decline and things that we should be doing differently, or, the arguments go on and on about what we should be doing to increase attendance at the church. And I got saved when I was 22, and I had been going to church my entire life. And what I realized after my conversion, which was just a simple sinner's prayer, on the day somebody asked me, "Where is your relationship with God?" It happened to be the pastor. We happened to be at church, but I was going there because I needed counseling because my dad had just gone to jail for molesting somebody in the church, and he had molested me my entire life. And I thought I needed some counsel. So during that conversation, he says, "Where's your relationship with God?" And I did not know how to answer the question. Now, I had been going to church for 22 years, and it's a conservative denomination, and Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, VBS, and I also went to a private Christian school through the 4th grade. And I literally did not know how to answer the question, where is your relationship with God? And that is highly problematic. And I remember thinking, why didn't anybody tell me this? The following Sunday, we were in the sanctuary and singing hymns. It was in the time of the hymns. And I remember starting to sing the songs, and I was like, wow, all these songs are about me. And I looked around and I'm like, did everybody else know that but me? Like, how did I go to church for 22 years and not know this was supposed to be like a legitimate personal relationship and even know what that meant? And in a conversation I had in my master class was, when did you first hear about the Holy Spirit? Now, in my church, I literally never heard about the Holy Spirit till after I was saved and somebody was talking to me about sanctification or being filled with the Holy Spirit. And I ask people all the time, what makes people go to something? Why would anybody continue going someplace? There has to be something that they're getting out of it. So some people go because it's become a habit, and some people go because they feel better when they go. Some people go because they feel guilty when they don't. But why would somebody who doesn't go to church go to church? And I was mentioning to somebody about the house church training that I went to, and if you take the Chinese philosophy that you don't invite somebody to church until you know for sure that they're a Christian and they're sold out, then how well are we as Protestants really learning how to disciple people on our own before we invite them to church, rather than inviting them to church as a scapegoat and hoping that in that 1 hour on Sunday mornings they're gonna find Jesus? I really think that we need to do better at being able to talk about our faith, our personal relationship with God, with each other and people outside the church. So I had a conversation with a realtor last week, sadly, because I'm the liaison for a church that's being closed. And he asked me, he says, "Why would anybody sell a church?" And I didn't know how to answer the question because I wasn't really totally privy to the history of that particular location. But I had made mention to him what I'm just mentioning now, is that in general, Christians feel inhibited. They have a fear of humiliation about sharing their faith in public. And it doesn't have to be aggressive. It's just a matter of fact. I'm a pastor and this is what I do for a living. And I am also a therapist, and I just, it's matter of fact. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's what I talk about. But I made mention to him that a lot of people have that inhibition. And I told him my salvation story. And I said, I don't ever want anybody to go to church for 22 years and never find out that it's about a relationship between you and God. And the interesting thing was, he stood there for a second and he said, that needs to stop. When he thought about the fact that, he's not a believer, and that we're afraid to go tell people that this is about you and God, that needs to stop. That's what he thought, because I think somewhere in his head he realized, if Christians are really having this issue, him not being, he would never hear this is supposed to be about me and my relationship with God. And it was an interesting moment of just hearing somebody from the outside. This is the analogy that I gave him. Imagine if you went to the same building 2 hours Sunday morning, 2 hours Sunday night, and 2 hours on Wednesday night, and you talked about building cars, fixing cars, painting cars, driving cars, and the object of the building was to sell cars, and nobody ever asked you if you had a car. And I said, and this is what you get. And I just kind of waved my hand because we were standing in the sanctuary. And that's genuinely how I feel we've gotten as a Protestant faith, that we're not free to talk to people about, hey, you know, here's my relationship with God, and this is what it's like. This is what I do. This is how I talk to him. This is how I listen to him. This is what he did to my perspective in life, how he changed my heart, how he fills me and gives me power. I mean, we just like, for whatever reason, I mean, if I had somebody tell me that when I was younger, I probably would have been saved a whole lot earlier. And it wouldn't have just been, hey, I want to avoid hell and God's anger. So I just say all this because I constantly read these messages on social media about the demise of the church, and where are we focusing? How do we fix it? You know, we're focused too much on politics instead of religion. And I mean, it just goes round and round and round. But we never talk about, where is your relationship with God? So what I want you to do, if you've watched all this, is in the comments, on a scale of 0 to 10, just type in a number on where is your relationship with God. God bless you.